True Crime. I'm Manny Rodriguez. In today's episode, I want to continue the coverage of Tatum Goodwin. Tatum, 27-year-old, taken away from this world way too soon. She was brutally murdered in Laguna Beach, California. Now, Dino Rojas-Moreno, 26 years old, he is accused of this crime and he's pleaded not guilty during his first court appearance. So that means that he's saying not guilty and he's alleged to be the killer. But this incident, this involves some gruesome details, with Rojas-Moreno now facing some really serious charges of murder and kidnapping. You see, when I first talked about this, we didn't talk about kidnapping, right? Those details were not forthcoming yet. There's even more to this that I'm going to share. But Tatum's body, it was found in a downtown alley very close to where she worked, leading to the police, to respond and subsequently arrest the suspect. And so we're going to be diving into what we know. We're even going to bring out the map and we're going to share where it is said that she has been found, where her work is, where she was visiting, where Dino works. And so we're going to be diving into that. Let's go ahead and see what we know at this time. The man who is accused of murdering Tatum Goodwin had his first court appearance, and he appeared before the judge in California's Orange County Superior Court for arraignment just yesterday on Monday, November 20th, and he entered a not guilty plea through his attorney. He was charged with a brutal attack on Goodwin, whose body was found bludgeoned to death by a fire extinguisher on November 12th. When I reported on this late last week, I didn't know about the fire extinguisher at that time. And so that's why I say there was little details that continue to come out. And so according to court filings, Rojas-Moreno, he is accused of using a fire extinguisher to kill the 27-year-old, which he is said to have committed in the commission and attempted commission of the crime of kidnapping. Was he trying to kidnap her? That's what part of this charge is. Now, Tatum Goodwin, she's from San Clemente. She was found by a construction worker almost 6 hours after this is said to have happened. And so the construction worker, he was just performing his regular duties and he came across her body. Rest in peace, Tatum Lee Goodwin. Taken from this world way too soon. Please, if you are a person of prayer, please pray that the family gets some closure, get some justice, get some peace at the end of this tunnel, because it is going to be a whirlwind. I have been following the sisters' posts and the dads, and they are beyond heartbroken. You can tell. And so Goodwin, she's from San Clemente, and a lot of people showed up for the vigil that they had for her, because people wanted to show their support. They wanted to show that they wanted to be there for the family. Like literally the community came together to show their support. You can see on the Facebook post when they were sharing about this tragic incident and the heartfelt messages around this. Right now, we don't know if there's a relationship between Dino Rojas-Moreno and the young lady that he took, Tatum Goodwin, allegedly. And so through this, we're learning a little more. And so I want to do a little dive into this on what we're finding out. But we do know that she worked at Carmelita's. Now, Carmelita's, that you can see right there. And then you can see the red marker. That's where she was found. And let's go ahead and go over here and do a little bit of a... Let's see if I can do this. And so we want to have a good idea of what we're looking at here. Let's make sure I do the right thing. And of course I did not. And I'm still learning how to mess with a Mac. If you are familiar with it, it takes a little getting used to. And I'm still getting used to it. Like, for example, how to turn on this whole page. And so through this, as you can see what they were feeling here, what they're going through, because this is a very tragic. And so here on your screen, I'm still trying to get over there. Let's see what that looks like. And so here we are on Google Earth. Okay, this is Google Earth Pro, and I am still trying to figure out how to put this whole thing there. That was not right, and that is not right. I know I'm pressing just one button wrong here, trying to just put it on full screen, but it's not working. So we're gonna just move on. And so you can see here, I kind of marked a few things. And so let's get here. You can see where this is where she works, Carmelita's workplace. She worked there as an assistant manager. And I don't know the exact direction of travel that she went through. Okay, but from what I can tell, this would be an easy walk if she came out like that entrance, wherever that would be leading to. And they first came down to around Hennessy's. This is Hennessy's right over here. This is said to be where they might have started their night out, that she went to meet with some friends after she got off of work. That may have been the travel, the direction. I'm given what I can see through the map in looking at this. Now, after that, she's also said to have sometime throughout this night visit Marine Room Tavern. Somewhere. I don't know if it was before Hennessy's. I don't know if it was after Hennessy's. But somewhere along the lines, she did stop at Marine Room Tavern. Now, notice where she was found. So it looks like she might have been on her way back to her car. Okay. Now, also notice where, let's see, it should be, I thought I had it marked here. And let's see if I can, let's see, there we go. So this is where the Royal Hawaiian Fire Grill is. Okay. This is where Dino worked. And you can see it's not far at all from Carmelita's. Ay, Dios míos. See, again, still learning how to mess with this Mac. And so here you can see from this distance through where she was found is definitely walking distance. That's not very far. This is on the Laguna Beach Strip. This is a strip where a lot of restaurants are, a lot of bars are. It's a hangout spot for people, right? It's right next to the beach. It's next to the water. I've never been there, and I can tell you it sounds like a beautiful place to hang out, to be, right? So this is where all of this little vicinity is where a lot of this has happened. Now, sometime during this process, okay, they're here, okay? Now, again, he's charged with kidnapping, which means that he was doing he was trying to hold her against her will, right? So he had bad intentions. And let me tell you, little by little, as you dig deep into this, Dino, he's said to have had some anger issues, probably even abused a previous girlfriend, beat up a friend who was defending that previous girlfriend. This guy has had problems. He's had anger issues for a long time. A lot of people have started coming out to speak. And if you look at his profile a little bit, you can see someone shared this, and this was on Reddit, I believe. Yeah, Nasty Poop Lost 3 shared a little bit on his profile, and you can see a little. I think this is from a dating profile. I think. I'm not 100% sure. But you can see in this, he says, I will never shut up about, mental health is very, serious. I definitely can agree with that, how mental health is very important. Is this going to be used as a defense later on? When you see his about me, he's 5'10", he's active. This is definitely describing him. So it sounds like the person that clipped all this described the right person, okay, or clipped the right person. This looks to be him, and he refers to himself. He says he socially does cannabis and never smoked cigarettes, and he socially drinks, and so you can kind of see of his interests and who he is, and he's a bartender at a restaurant. He literally had worked at a bunch of different restaurants, and other people he worked with said this guy was mean to females. I mean, there's a lot that's coming out. And then we find her back here. We find out this is where they found her. But here's the thing that we did not know when I first shared the story. Not only was she beaten with a fire extinguisher, they say that her body was found under a chain link fence on a construction site, and a sandbag had been placed on her head. Now again, this is a construction site. This is behind a movie theater, right? The movie theater, let's get a close up here. The movie theater, let's get this close up, is said to be right around this area. Let's see. Let me show the screen here. It's said to be right around this area here. Let me turn on my eyes. Okay, so I believe this is said to be the theater. This is the movie theater. So they're doing construction here, which would be why there would be a fire extinguisher, which would make sense why there's, sandbags and things like that. So to have these things there as they're doing construction, that would make sense, because at first I'm like, how would he have a fire extinguisher with him? Again, there's a lot that the police are not revealing. So, but people are getting a hold of the court documents, the court arraignment, what he's being charged with. And so without sharing any of it, they're getting some of the information out of it and sharing that. I've not seen the charging documents. I even tried to go to the Laguna Beach site I even paid for it's just to search the name, and there was nothing there. So I wasn't going to keep trying to search every which way and paying for it. But, at the end of the day, truth is, my friends, we just want to make sure that Tatum's story is heard. She deserves justice. She did not deserve this. We don't understand why this could have happened to her. We do understand in this crazy world that we live in is this thing continues to happen. But it is said that she recently broke up with a boyfriend, and that she appeared to be upset that night that she left the bar in those early hours. And she said that to have left about 1 a.m. when this might have occurred. So shortly before 1 a.m. And someone said that they heard a scream, but it wasn't until much later that the construction worker had come upon this. And so she had gone to Hennessy's Tavern on Ocean Avenue after she left work, and she is also thought to have stopped for a drink at Marine Bar, as I shared, which is right across the street, at some point during that night. And so in the filing that was released, it says that Rojas-Moreno, he approached Goodwin in the parking lot at around 1 a.m. and he assaulted her near her car. And, it's like the poor trauma that she had to go through. But why did did he try to hit on her and she rejected him? And that's how we end up here. And and it's like you stop and you're like, this just shouldn't happen. Okay? But we know that it has. And so we find out that the bartender then forcefully drags her to the rear of the parking lot, down a short alley, and to a secluded area behind a movie theater that was under construction. And so going back to that, this is where she was found. Right here. I didn't show, there we go. Right here. And if we get closer up, let me stop that. You can kind of get a closer view of where she was found. Okay. Now, I'm not too sure how that matches with, I tried to figure this out. Some people are going to be better than this at me. I'm just working on getting better at this, because when I started digging deep for my understanding, it was like, I might as well do this live. And so hopefully you guys can help me better understand this as well. But trying to put together this part on Google Maps, along with, the back of the movie theater, is that her car? Were they parked in the same area? Was he stalking her? Other people said that he had a history of doing things like this. And so that's why it's like we don't really know, but what part of this would match with this, right? What part would match with this part as we're getting deeper in there? And, this is where she is said to have been found, in this area. My friends, this is not about me. This is about Tatum, who was taken from this world way too soon by someone who we don't understand this, said to have had a history of doing this, but investigators say that in the alley, he picks up a fire extinguisher and beats the 27-year-old to death. And Rojas, he fails to show up for work much later on that day. And he says that he gets jumped by a couple guys in Santa Ana, and that's why he can't come to work. Okay? Of course, that's fishy right out of the way. And so he worked on the same Laguna Beach strip as Goodwin's restaurant at the Royal Hawaiian Fire Grill, as I shared with you. And despite working just minutes from each other, the investigators, they have yet to say anything about how they know each other, if they know each other, how they ever met, was there a relationship, they're going to go through the phones, they're going to go through everything. We're going to find out more. But he is local to the area, and he became a bartender working at different trendy restaurants, including Blossoms and Brass in Costa Mesa, after graduating from high school. And you can go to Reddit, you can find different things on him. Classmates are speaking up. People are speaking up. People are talking different memories about how my ex-boyfriend was really good friends with him, and he was mean to his girlfriend. So a lot of people, obviously, you always got to take it with a grain of salt, because you never know who's going to be telling you the truth, who's going to be exaggerating, who just wants clout, who wants to just spread lies, because they're all out there, right? But tributes, they continue to pour in for the young lady who was taken from this world way too soon. Goodwin's sister, Kaylee, she says her light shined so bright that it impacted so many different people. Her best friend, Madison Moyer, she described the 27-year-old as her soulmate, best friend, other half, and the person who brought me peace when I couldn't find it myself. That is the type of person that this wonderful girl was. And her family, they all spoke so highly of her. They only had great things. They are sorely missing her. They are just trying to give whatever updates they can, on a positive note, to share the type of life she led. There was a campaign, a GoFundMe campaign, by the owner of Carmelita's restaurant. And his name is Marcos Heredia. And he left a message on the GoFundMe campaign that was organized by Goodwin's sister. And he says, "I've had the great pleasure to have Tatum as an assistant manager, friend, and family member in our business for 4 years. Did you hear that? She was a part of that business for 4 years. I can guarantee you there are some heartbroken people in there. And they had this GoFundMe campaign. Their goal was to reach $20,000. They're now over $37,000. That is the kind of person she was that people want to support. People want to help the family. And as Heredia, the owner of Carmelita, said, we are still in disbelief and we don't want her to go unforgotten. So they did everything they can. My friends, it's stories like this as to why I do this. Because number one, Tatum Goodwin did not deserve this. Number two, look at what you have to be careful for, because this is a crazy world we live in. We have to be careful. We have to look over our shoulders. We have to look around us. We have to be careful of our surroundings. My friends, I'm Manny Rodriguez. Hey, at the end of the day, if this sounds like something that you would like to follow, hit that subscribe button, because at the end of the day, Tatum deserves justice. And Tatum did not deserve this. So my friends, again, if you are a person of prayer, I ask you to please pray that there's justice here and the family can find justice. And if this is the type of content you like to follow, please hit that subscribe button. And if you got some value out of this, hit the like button, because this is not about me. This is about being a voice for the victims. This is about being a voice for you, because this is a crazy world we live in. And truth is, we don't know. Tatum left upset. Was Tatum upset at him? Was Tatum upset about a boyfriend breakup? Was this the boyfriend? The family says there was no relationship between them. But again, the early stage is the hardest part to actually buy into everything you hear. But we will continue to cover this, my friends, because at the end of the day, they deserve a voice. Rest in peace to Tatum Goodwin, taken from this world way too soon. Be safe, my friends. Be aware. Be careful. Take care. Peace.